Duterte has declared a lockdown of the capital, Metro Manila, after raising the maximum
The Brighton
alert level
Group's
in
forced to put
response
the
to
biggest day of their
coronavirus.
lives on hold.
Good morning! Welcome back to the Love Wins Live Forum. I'm so excited to be here this morning. Of course, I'm Rana Capili Bonifacio, Editor-in-Chief of Inspirations.ph. And with me is Ms. Sharon Fabian, Managing Director of Themes and Motifs. Hi, Ms. Sharon.
Hello, Rona. Good morning. And good morning to everyone. Well, actually, depending where you are right now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Everyone
Yes.
that's tuned in right now to Love Wins Live Forum. Ayan. So it has been a week since we last saw you guys. How have you been, Miss Rona?
I've been good. Just the usual working from home, the once a week run outside the home to stock the fridge and bring pasalubong home to the children, and then back to working from home. How about you?
It's more of the same. Wala ka naman masyadong pwedeng puntahan ngayon. I can't say that it's really that good. By God's grace, we're trying to make the best out of the situation.
Right.
I think itong surge natin ngayon, no, it's hitting us harder than the first time, same time last year. But of course, nandiyan ang challenge, nandiyan ang not so good news, but we really have to keep moving, keep doing things that will help us keep our sanity, give us
Yes.
a positive outlook in life, diba? Wag lang positive sa COVID. Yeah, but it's by God's grace, we are good, we are safe at home, and I hope the rest of our viewers are also doing the same, no? Staying at home, being safe, and being responsible. Yeah. But I have been looking forward to this episode the entire week. Nung nag-agree yung ating speaker to say yes, talagang looking forward ako because, isa siya sa mga people that I really look up to in the wedding industry. And I think, she really paved the way for a lot of the wedding planners right now. Ang sabi ko nga sa introduction natin sa kanya, no, when we were promoting, she is the fairy godmother
Yes.
of the wedding industry. No? And sabi ng iba, living legend yan. So, yung wedding industry natin is probably yung age ng wedding industry is probably about the same age nung kanyang career, no, as a wedding planner.
Right.
And long before we've had the wedding planners around and the other wedding suppliers. Our guest has been there, and she has actually uh, conducted countless seminars, lectures, and she also had a wedding planning course. So a lot of the wedding planners now were actually her students. Siya yung mentor. And yeah, I guess kung wala siya, hindi ma-realize ng mga tao that wedding planning, events planning can be a profession, no? It can be a very good career for people. Yan. So, looking forward ako to having her on board. Yan, sa atin. So, yun. And I'm excited to share to the Suntuwes who are out there yung mga learnings by our guest this morning, this entire year, more than a year of the pandemic, on how they can have their beautiful and safe weddings. So tawagin na natin siya, Rona.
Yes.
Let's call her in. Our guest this morning is the Miss Rita Neri, President of Rita Neri Event Planners. Ayan.
Morning to everybody. If it's morning in your part of the world, you guys make you're giving me such kind words. Thank you so much, Sharon. You know I can never say no to you and Dodge. Anytime you need me, you know I am there, and I'm so glad to see and be meeting Rona again. I think you said you interviewed me a long time ago.
I did. I interviewed you a couple of years ago when I was still with a different title. So, again, I think we really in the wedding industry, no, Miss Rita Neri needs no introduction. She's a name. I mean, she's a household name. And tama si Miss Sharon, whatever it is that we are reaping in the wedding industry is really something that was blood, sweat, and tears of Miss Rita Neri. So I'm so excited to have Miss Rita here with us and also pick your brains, because I know a pandemic wedding is unprecedented for all wedding planners. I mean, we can't say that anybody has ever gone through this experience, but the wealth of experience that you've had as a wedding planner and as an events planner, I think is still the edge that we'll be able to learn from this morning. So if you are still planning your wedding, or maybe natamaan po kayo nung itong panibagong ECQ, please do send us your questions. Now is the perfect chance for you to get answers from the one and only Rita Neri. And also share this stream. Baka meron kayong friends na ikakasal at nawiwindang at naloloka po. Ayan po. Ito po ang kasagutan. We hope this helps you this morning to just find your way through all of this, because we know it's not easy.
Yes. Ayan, I'd like to say good morning to the viewers right now. We have Miss Safira Chua, who's watching. Ang sabi niya, si Miss Rita Neri is the icon in the wedding industry.
Of course. I agree.
Ayan, sabi ni Safira. Good morning, Miss Safira. Thank you for watching. Talagang icon, Rona. Before ko na ibigay ang limelight kay Miss Rita Neri, long before naging uso ang destination wedding, I think nagkaroon ng destination wedding because of Rita Neri. Wow. So they have been doing that long before the era of Instagram, of Facebook.
Absolutely.
They have been doing destination wedding. Ngayon, usong-uso ang intimate weddings. Nung hindi pa embrace ang intimate weddings, Rita Neri has been doing intimate weddings. In fact, strong suit nilang intimate weddings. Katandem yan ng destination weddings nila no? When people would have destination weddings, more exotic, it's usually very intimate kasi closest friends and family members have. So now, yung expertise ni Miss Rita, nalagyan ng isang challenge, Rita, no? You know how the pandemic. Yeah, and I'm sure after more than a year, there have been so many learnings, and we've talked to, every so often, we'll talk to different wedding planners. But of course, walang magko-compare sa wisdom that you will share with us.
Yes.
So, yeah, I will give the limelight to you now, Rita. How has it been? How are you now? What have you been doing? And ano ba ang mga
Uh,
learnings for soon-to-weds and for the suppliers now that we are more than a year into the pandemic?
um, I think what you people have been saying that never has it been that we have been hit by something like this. And when you say been there, done that, we've never been here and we've never done it. So everyone is learning to cope in their own little way. And I don't need to sound like I'm lecturing because sometimes, I do have a background in teaching, but just tell me if ever, it's getting too heavy because in a way our topic is heavy and I want to lighten it up also because initially I asked you who are the people who will be joining us, and you said soon to weds and also event planners. And I think what I'm going to be bringing up will apply to both and adapt it in your situation. Um, the COVID has hit us one so unexpectedly. Before the COVID came, we had two Italy weddings scheduled. We had several out of the country and within the country weddings from Balisin to Boracay, Batangas, everything. And of course, our usual Metro Manila weddings. 2020 was a banner year for us. When I look at our accounts and everything, it was really looking so good. Then the COVID hit. And maybe I'm echoing what marami sa inyo is already experiencing or has experienced na there is a complete stop. And the sad thing about it is that hindi lang sa ating Pilipinas, it's global. It's just
Mm.
global. Example, how can we go to Italy? Italy's on lockdown. How can
Right.
I do my LA wedding? LA is on lockdown. And what we're experiencing is good for everybody. And of course, may mga matitigas ang ulo na ayaw mag-mask, ayaw mag-social distance. Well, nasa sa kanila na yon. But we want to survive. So I'll
Mm.
bring up some things that should apply to everybody. And this is based on what has happened. First of all, there are three parts. It's me or you, and then the others, and then the world. Because it starts with you. Whether you're the bride or you're the event planner, it starts with you. So what I'm telling you now is know yourself. Know your situation. And lalo na, know your mental state. Miss Sharon was already explaining earlier before we went live and everything that um, there is mental anguish involved, which we've never experienced before. I mean, Filipinos by nature are happy-go-lucky. We're a smiling race. All of a sudden, you're starting to question, what are we going to smile about? Initially, we hear comments na may nagkasakit, friend of a friend, but now it's friends who are now getting sick and unfortunately dying. That is mental anguish because you cannot do anything eh. So you as a bride, niisip mo, tayo muna, paano ka magpapakasal? Because the effect is not only me and my wedding, but also the guest. Okay? Next, when you know yourself and your situation, you have to know also your financial situation. Because let's face it has come to a stop. You are still lucky if you have a job, but most probably you have a pay cut somewhere. Very good friends in the hotel industry who are no longer there, meaning the hotel had to close. And we all know that's what happened to some hotels. And then there are some who said, and she's already a director in marketing and sales, she goes, I had to have a pay cut, but I still have a job.
Right.
And if you're a bride and if you're working and you have no work, where are you going to get your budget? Not only for the
Mm.
wedding, but for daily expenses. Because you have
Mhm.
to have two incomes to support diba, the dream of a wedding. So,
Mm.
iisipin mo na naman, paano ngayon ako? Tuloy ba, hindi tuloy? And we'll get back to that. Because aside from financial situation, you have your obligations. Let's face it, alam mo naman ng Pilipino, extended family tayong lahat. May magulang na inaalagaan. Whether they're of an age where they're going to need medical help or just plain staying with you. You may have brothers and sisters that you have to see through school. Of course, I'm not even going to talk about a husband who you have to support financially, uh, and every which way. You have to be there for him. Let's face it, mas malakas ang loob ng babae kesa sa lalaki. Ang lalaki, madaling madishearten. Ang babae, kakayanin yan. And I say this with all truth because it has been borne out by so many. And the guy, mga lalaki, mga kapatid, asawa, tatay, syempre, ang front niyan, macho ako. But there comes a time when he's going to need help. And you have to be there. That being said, the overall impact on you, your family, your business, the schooling of the kids, and the family obligations, ano ngayon ang gagawin mo? How are you going to cope? Ito ikaw, you're an event planner. If you're an event planner that has been relying on event planning as your bread and butter, umupo ka na ngayon, mag-isip ka. I'm telling you this. Because kung kami, madaming accounts, kalahati halos nawala. What more you, who is just starting, has started, but you've only been 2 or 3 years in the business, or you've got a very good ongoing practice of event planning. Ang iisipin mo ngayon is, saan ako tatakbo? Anong gagawin ko ngayon? And if you're an event planner and you're experiencing this situation, how can you now translate it and help your couples or even help those in the event industry? Diba? Kasi kung ikaw, that's why I said, start with you. Kung ikaw are already experiencing difficulty, paano ka makakatulong? How will you give advice? Ito, natutuliro ka na nga, and then you still have to give advice pa to others. So you're already experiencing all of this. So what are you going to do? Number 1 is really keep calm. Because kung ikaw is gonna be like a chicken without a head, you're not gonna be of help to anybody. Diba? You're gonna be the one na kailangan nila tulungan. You have to really keep calm. And that's what I tell everybody. So the first thing you have to do is review your options. Ano ba ang options mo? You do a list, pros and cons. What is going for you? Anong positive side mo? And there are positive situations. There are positive characteristics. Imposibleng wala. It could be as simple as you have a daughter who just graduated and can now be of help. Or it could be my husband's job. Your husband's job was not terminated. Di ba? Or it could be yung mga kliyente mo are sticking with you. They're saying, tuloy ang kasal. Miski na konti, miski na 10 people. Okay? Tuloy pa rin tayo. Okay? Those are the positives. Work on that. We already discussed the negatives. So, negatives, syempre, financial, even religious, because you will question your faith at times. Diba? Okay. Now, after you review your options, you will now think, some people have had to move location. What do I mean? They've had to downsize. They gave up offices. I'll be honest. I gave up our from 2 offices. We gave up the bigger office, and we're now down to 1. Why? Because we are now working from home. And at the rate we're going, it seems we're going to be working from home for a long time. At nakasanayan na itong working from home, di ba? Mga Zoom experts na tayo, kuno. Except for me. I'm still need help. But
Hindi po halata.
You might need to move location. You might need to downsize. And this one you have to be open to. You might have to change your livelihood or augment your livelihood. Ito na yung mga rice na mga plantitos, mga plantitas, ito na yung mga baking. Yan ang mga moving forward. Why? Kasi inisip na nila, okay, magkakaproblema tayo in my source of event planning, ano pa magagawa ko? I mean, bungkalin nyo yung mga recipes ng nanay nyo. Baka your leche plan of your mom, of your grandmother is to die for. Work on that. Or you have a green thumb. I'm telling you now, anything I cook or anything I grow dies. So, kidding aside, you might not have that situation. You might be more lucky. So, find out how you can augment or change your current livelihood situation. Well, your husband, honestly, can organize maybe a delivery service. See? Think out of the box. Huwag nyo nang isipin na, ay, ginagawa na ng kapitbahay ko. So, think of something. Mag-join forces kayo. Reach out to others. Which leads me to the next part, which is, what are your other sources of income? Diba? Mag-isip kayo ng other sources of income. Aside from coming from you, baka naman you have a brother who has, may talent siya for doing something. Reach out and find out how you can survive together. Talagang what they say, no man is an island. Totoo yan ngayon. Unfortunately, we cannot reach out physically to them, but we can reach out and say, what are we going to do about this? Start thinking of working as a family. And I'm also talking about couples because, sige, you're planning your wedding. Initial planning mo, 150 guests, 300 guests. Be proactive na. If it says you can only invite 30 people, gumawa na kayo ng guest list na 30, 50, and if you're idealistic, do 75. But sino ba tong 13 to? Even go 10. Because I believe there are some churches that will only allow 10. Eh dun sa 10 na yun, dalawa na kayo tanggal. So 8. Eh may supplier kayo. So sino matitira?
Magulang
you and your parents?
Yes.
Magulang. And the pare. Okay.
And the pare, yes. Walang
And
kasal pag
pare,
wala pong
diba?
officiant.
Exactly. Like yung gusto nyo na kilalang photographer. Eh yung kilalang photographer insisting 4 sila. Come on.
Yes.
At the age of the smartphone, people can still take pictures. Diba?
Yes.
Be realistic. Adapt to the situation. Huwag pilitin, huwag matigas ang ulo. Kasi hindi pwede hindi kayo mananalo. We have to go with the flow. Miski na sino pang simbahan ang kausapin ko, it is mandated by the government. People will be blacklisted. Wala tayong magagawa. Alam nga na mahuli tayo. I have a friend. She wants to celebrate her mother's 25th anniversary sa Alabang. And she kept on calling me, Tita, ilan ba talaga ang pwede? Sabi ko, hindi ba sinabi na sa'yo, gusto mo ba isumbong kayo ng kapitbahay nyo na nag-party kayo? And bottom line, do you want to be the cause of a super spreader? Na makilala yung event nyo na 3 nagkasakit dahil sa inyo? Because I believe that's what happened in a situation in Subic. Okay, they had a wedding and 3 people got sick. And it was the supplier that was telling me about this. So, syempre, puro-puro, kwento-kwento. Okay, another point I'd like to bring out is, because of you've taken stock of your situation and everything, you have to reinvent yourself and if possible, your family. This is what I'm repeating again. Think of it, ikaw muna, think of it as others. Diba? Who is the closest to you? Siyempre, family. Susunod na dyan, mga kaibigan. Baka you and your best friend can create a vlog. You and your best friend can now do community pantry. That's so uso now. You and your best friend or your auntie or your cousin can do something. Reach out to them because now is the time. Because you have all the time. Not like before you were so busy planning someone's wedding. You were planning your wedding. Iba na ngayon. Mag-isip-isip na tayo because, sorry pero kung aasa lang tayo sa gobyerno, aasa lang tayo sa local government, aasa tayo sa simbahan, yes, they can help. But kung maghihintayan tayo, baka naman nasa 5th spread na tayo ng COVID, nandiyan pa rin tayo sa the same situation. which we want to
Mm.
avoid. Okay. You have to keep yourself productively occupied. Volunteer in your community. You yourself go on a fitness regimen. Personally, I make sure I get sunlight, I get my sunshine, I go for a walk. I'm not as diligent as before. Let's face it, kuminsan tatamarin kayo, but you have to do it. You have to get up and go. And then, now you have the time to do it. Kailan pa kayo maghihintay? Di ba? Be active now. Next, whether you're a couple planning your wedding, or you're an event planner, or you work in the event industry, be informed with accurate and updated information.
Oh, that's so
Check
important.
government, yeah, check government and private news. Be aware of fake news. Always double check.
Mm.
Because we all know madaming fake news dyan, kesa namatay ito, kesa the COVID is like this. You know, until you how do I say this? Verify the news. Do not bring it out in your social media. Don't text it.
Right.
Don't vibrate it. Because
Right.
you are going to be the cause of anxiety and fake news.
Yes. I
Okay.
agree.
Kasi guilty tayo sa lahat ng ganyan eh. Lalo na kung galing to sa kaibigan ko. I'm sure okay to.
Yes.
Hello?
Oo.
She probably didn't check it. Di ba?
Yes.
Now, when I say be informed with accurate and updated info, all my coordinators and I myself always check what is the latest info sa mga LGU, IATF, DOH, DOT, DFA, kasi travel yan, all the Ds of the departments. Okay? I have made use of my connect with my past grooms. I have been lucky and fortunate enough. I have grooms who are in the government. So they will always answer Tita Rita and they will tell me what is right. I'm not saying that my news is always accurate. I'm just saying that before I post it, I always try to make you say that it's
Verify.
correct. Just give you an example. My Italy wedding that was supposed to be in Lake Como got transferred to La Union.
Okay.
Okay? So from the lake, naging La Union. Okay. And La Union is very strict about
Yes.
allowing people into
People
the
in.
province.
Right.
People in. Ano bang testing ang require nila? May medical health certificate ba yan? Antigen ba yan? Because now I have to cascade this to the suppliers. And they also have to put it in their invitation. Di ba?
Yes.
Like, ano sasabihin mo sa mga bisita mo? Hindi kayo papapasukin ng local government checkpoint pa lang unless you have the following. And this was born out to be very true because when we went to do ocular, we were held up for 2 hours. Okay, we were held up for 2 hours because we lacked a certain test. Good thing na lang, may malasakit din. We explained everything. After 2 hours, we were even brought into the military camp. Okay, so feeling namin, oh my God, ano to? You know, hinuhuli na kami and everything. It was me, photographer Lito C, even our license sounds. We were easily around 8 people. So before we could even start our ocular, yun ang nangyari. And I don't want that to be happening to anybody. So, and let me share the difference between, let's say, Tagaytay and Cavite. Tagaytay at that time was not that strict. The moment lampasan mo Tagaytay and you enter Cavite, ayan na yung mga checkpoint. Okay? So, you have to be aware of this even before you go out so that you will not encounter such difficulty. And the problem is, di ba Sharon, pabago-bago eh.
That's right.
Di ba may ECQ and ECQ. And then, pabago-bago na yon, pabago-bago pa depending on each province. Even Metro Manila. And sad to say, I'm also experiencing this abroad. Italy goes through zones. There's the red zone, the orange zone, same for Britain, for England, same for France. So I also have to be aware globally because I still have clients from abroad who are inquiring. Just recently, we may have to turn down an England-based wedding because they're still on lockdown. So I told the bride who's a Filipina marrying, foreigner,
British.
dear, as much as we would like to do it, I can't even get there because DFA has already informed us that London is banning travel by Filipinos into England.
Right.
So, we're making arrangements na lang. Now, we have a counterpart in England. Maybe they can help. But definitely, we will be doing their Filipino wedding here, which is slated in June. But even that might be moved up. So,
Right.
be aware of what is happening there. Okay. Now, in continuation, I would like to say, keep in touch with others within your industry. Keep in touch even with other brides if you're a couple, with other grooms, because their situation might be applicable to yours. And you can now help each other out. Continue your networking. Like now, this situation, this is networking. Diba? You're not just staying home, kumukupap ka, and you're saying, oh, woe is me, kawawa naman ako. No, continue to network. What are the suppliers saying? What is your
Mm-hmm.
photographer saying? What package? What package is out there that came out? Baka you can change your plan to an intimate package, one that is more doable as far as, let's say, budget is concerned. Diba? Okay. The event industry people are people who are so helpful. That is what I can say with full assurance. When this COVID came out, I reached out to them. We had drinks with Miss Rita and everything. And of course, they were very disheartened because from beautiful events, we had zero events. Zero events in the sense na status quo, nothing was moving. We couldn't move. Okay, not because we didn't want to, but we couldn't. And then reach out to event industry people because they will really be out there to help you. Explain your situation. What do I mean? Explain your situation as far as budget alignment is concerned. Explain your situation as far as even postponements and cancellations. Why you will beg that there be no penalties if you cancel. And we're not talking of only just one cancellation. I mean one postponement. I've had occasions where we've had 1, 2, even 3 postponements. And we've had to talk to suppliers. Because hindi naman to kinagustuhan ng couple eh. Gusto nga nila matuloy eh. Yeah, they really want matuloy. I've talked to parents who said, Miss Rita, hindi ba pwede talaga? Sabi ko, alam niyo po tita, miski na ituloy natin. Baka naman lahat tayo, magka-problema because magkakaroon ng COVID. Okay? And that's the last thing we want. And then, be proactive. Keep your files updated. This is now the time. Go over all your office work. Like your files of 5 years ago. Kailangan pa ba nandyan yan? Ayusin na natin. Diba? Mga pictures nyo on FB. Yung mga file pictures nyo, update nyo yan. Clean up and clear out office paperwork. Okay? Anong kailangan ilagay sa computer, sa mga laptop nyo, ayusin na ninyo yan. Be productive. And last but not the least, be always ready to restart. Be always ready to restart. Restart your planning your wedding, restart your event planning. Because you never know when it's just a matter of if and when. There has to be an end to this. It cannot continue. It is not in the nature of people to be always this negative. We will bounce back, okay? And always remember, love will prevail. There are only two sure things, aside from death and taxes. That is people will fall in love. And when they fall in love, they will want to get married. They want to make it legal, blessed, and forever. Love will always prevail. Always remember that. So whenever you feel disheartened, isipin nyo yung pag-ibig nyo. Now is the time to stick together. Now is not the time to quarrel. You mean because of COVID, maghihiwalay tayo? Wag naman. This is the time to be strong. And this is the last, I will say. Whether you believe in God or not, have faith and pray. Hindi siya natutulog. We all know
Mm.
that. We really all know that. How many blessings and miracles have I encountered in this lifetime? Who would have thought that from a dream of doing weddings, I am where I am now after almost going on 30 years? That's a miracle in itself. And I always tell him, thank you, Lord, that I can be here where I am now and I'm still a blessing to others because I'm doing something I love and I'm helping others be happy. With that, I'd like to end and I'd like to hear from you because you are what makes the event industry really alive. That's it.
It, para I have, thank you for the, I had to pause no, na teary-eyed ako dun sa last few points mo, Rita, that, this will definitely stop one day. Love will always prevail. And that's what we have been advocating since we started this live broadcast last year in May, no? So, nagsa-cycle, may bagong surge, but love will always prevail. Love wins. Yeah, so that's, naiyak ako slightly. Oo, kasi right now,
And it's
medyo
not just
depressed ang mga tao.
it is not I'm not just not talking about romantic love. I'm talking
Yeah.
about love in general for
Yeah.
others. You may have lost a parent, whether due to COVID or not, or a brother or somebody you know. But the love doesn't go away. It's always been there. And the
Yes.
memory is there. It just so happened that this bad thing called COVID came into our lives. And it's just like a movie. It's like a bad movie that just keeps on replaying, that keeps on rewinding, and we say, ano ba yan? Di ba? Wala ba itong katapusan? Meron. Meron yung katapusan. Hindi natutulog ang Diyos. Never. So we just have to always remember that. And I told you, be ready to restart. Come in stronger and better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
be ready to restart. Yan ang
yeah.
ano. Big lesson. I mean, big takeaway from for me, ha, be ready to restart. Kasi we will definitely bounce back. Kaya,
Yeah.
yeah. Nag-agree si Tita Fajardo sa atin.
Yes.
And na-enlighten si Miss Safira. Ayan.
Yes. I was going to say that I think it's sometimes we don't want to talk about the realities of where we are because tayo mismo hindi natin tanggap na ito yung nangyayari. But listening to you share just the wisdom that you've acquired, not just in this past year, but as in the industry, it's I think we've always said this, it's quite impossible to move forward and even restart if we don't assess the situation. Yung hindi natin titignan yung ano bang meron, anong wala. And it doesn't magnify things, but it puts you at the prime position eh. Then you know, how am I going to move forward? Do I move forward, or do I have to restart like you said? And if you're watching and parang I know it was a lot and it's so much wisdom, I hope that you see also that it's that's the reality. We have to acknowledge our reality, and actually acknowledging it is a good thing. It doesn't make it more. Siguro for us Filipinos kasi sometimes we're non-confrontational eh, 'di ba? Ayaw natin magpapatest kasi nararamdaman mo pero ayaw mo ma-confirm. 'Di ba? Yung mga ganon. But I think whether you're planning your wedding or just navigating your business or your family life, 'di ba? It's good to know where you stand and understanding that yes, ang daming ingay, ang daming negative things, but like Miss Rita said, there's also so much good things in your life that when you sit down, when you assess, when you take note of it, you'll see, oo nga no, there are so many good things. I'm healthy, or my kids are okay, or I can actually plan this wedding. My okay pa rin kami nung yung the person I want to marry. So I hope that that, I mean, for me, that's something that I'm taking from what Miss Rita said, that there's so many good things, and love will always prevail. All forms of love, whether
Yeah.
it's between bride and
Um,
groom, in
yeah.
families. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to say no that while you're doing your assessment and everything, the mere fact that you woke up today is already a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many who did
Yeah.
not wake up today. So
Right.
how can we be ungrateful to our Lord? So whether you believe in a God or not, how can you say that you have not been blessed? Right? So we just keep moving one step at a time. Just one step at a time.
Yes.
Matatapos rin to. Imposible. It cannot be. And if you're disheartened, do something for others because that will really get you out of yourself, get you out of your
Right.
funk. And realize na hindi lang ako naghihirap eh. May mas grabe dyan eh. There are some who are better. I read this quote. It's not that we're all in the storm together. It's just that we're all in the same boat. Some are in yachts, some are in bangkas, some are baka nakabalsa, and some have been drowning. Where are you? Why can't you help? Right? That's what I'm saying. Now is the time because that's what's gonna save everybody. You just have
Yeah.
to really go get together. Kasi kung ikaw
Yeah.
lang and you're only considering yourself, it's so unfair. Unfair naman yan for all those who are striving to make things different for others. Diba?
Mm. I think that's also what we've been, I don't know, for me, that's what I've been seeing this entire week. I think
Yeah.
that's the magic of the news that we've been seeing this entire
Mhm.
week, that one person helping out was so infectious. 'Di ba? There was one person who
Yeah.
set up a table and put goods and vegetables, and she just sat there and waited for people na kung sino may gusto, kumuha kayo. And
Yeah.
I remember watching the interview, and she said it wasn't born out of excess. Her desire to help other people wasn't born out of because I was in a yacht and I saw other people in a bangka. Hindi eh. Hers was, she actually also needed help, but she decided, I'm not gonna focus on my needs. I'm not gonna focus on anong wala ako, but whatever is here, I will help others. And I really agree with that, that reaching out and helping others in any way you
Yeah.
can
You know,
is
adding to
really
that,
going to help.
I just saw a post also. There was a community pantry. I forgot. Diba that's what is that person? She
Yes.
started a community pantry, and it was it was posted on my FB, and I saw it, and I forgot where. In the community pantry, there was this mamang sorbetero. You know what we call the dirty ice cream, and
Yes.
he
Yes.
approached the community pantry, and they all thought that kung naman tong mama to magtitinda pa ng ice cream. No, he started to give out for free. So it's
Mm.
contagious. It's
It is.
contagious.
Yes.
It
Yes.
is.
Yeah, it just takes
Absolutely.
one person and that's it. You know, others will follow and now it's already like almost a national thing, right?
Mhm.
It's sprouting all over. In fact, I just also got again on my FB because I have this on my Viber, this Viber group of old classmates, and they said, "Come on, let's donate. Our school is opening up a community pantry in Malibay, so you know now we're all donating and everything." So helping others is really contagious. And it
Yes.
takes you out of yourself. It will
Mm-hmm.
take you out of saying, ay, kawawa naman ako. No, it will
Mm-hmm.
make you feel
Yeah.
productive. I'm doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's really important. But to go back for those, no, maybe I wasn't able to address enough those who are planning their weddings, no. I think maybe it's been addressed by other speakers and other talks. I really don't know. But weigh your situation in such a way that you will do the least harm to the most people. What do I mean? I know you want to get married, and this is the time that you don't want to wait, and it's understandable. I've had situations like that. I've had couples who've been together for 5 years, 6 years, and everything. So uh, do the least harm to the most number of people. What do I mean? Make sure lang your event is not a source of spreading the COVID. Because ayaw ko naman na all throughout your lifetime, nasa isip nyo, oh nga, nag-wedding nga tayo, pero si so and so, si Tito somebody, got sick. Abuti kung got sick lang, got well. I hope nothing else happened. Diba? And secondly, please, be aware of what are the guidelines out there. It pays to be more, how do you say, toxic about safety. And I always tell my couples, lagay nyo sa invitation nyo, whether it's an invite or an actual invitation, please lagay nyo so that people know, they know naman pala, they're aware of our safety. Tell them, please don't go to the wedding unless, you have been
I have a question.
Sure.
I have a question about that because we've heard of couples and families na nahihiya sila. Like, for example, meron silang gustong gawin na let's do a test for everybody. Because, diba, some weddings do that. We'll do a test.
Yeah.
But there may side of the family na nakakahiya naman. We invited them, tapos we're going to ask them pa to take a swab test. Or, what's your take on that? Or yung ganon, the reminders, di ba, to follow safety protocols. Nakakahiya ba talaga? Should we tone it down? Or kasi what you're saying is okay lang maging, I guess, to over-communicate. Tama ba?
Yeah, well, my take on that is this. Ano mas nakakahiya? May namatay? Kasi walang mahihiya if you tell them, please, vaccinate yourself. If you're coming to the wedding, make sure you're vaccinated, make sure you've tested, and if you haven't, we care about you. That's why we will have testing facilities available. Anong nakakahiya doon? You can always turn it around into a positivity by saying, kaya nga ho, may malasakit kami sa inyo. We value your being a guest at our wedding. We want to make sure you are safe and all the people around you who are attending the wedding are safe. Because you may be safe, kung hindi namin gawin to, ano ho yung katabi nyo? Diba? Yeah. There is such a way naman to communicate it that people will understand. All I can say is, walang mamamatay sa nahihiya. But there will be if you don't do it.
Right.
Yeah, and because tama yun, Rita, no? Because others, it's either nakakahiya to ask our guests to test, or others naman would say masyadong mahal, dagdag sa budget if we will have all 30 or 50 people tested. So they won't test na lang, di ba? Or sometimes they will say, we will have all our suppliers tested, but our guests naman kasi, we know them, their family. So ang outsider ng supplier. So parang may bias, no? Parang may discrimination sa suppliers, parang ikaw yung identified na magdadala ng virus. So iba-ibang schools of thought. But yeah, I guess kasi if you don't test everyone, pointless eh. Do you agree with me, Rita, na you only test half, or you only test the supplier?
It's half true and half not. Okay. Why? If you assess the situation, I totally agree. Siyempre, mas kilala mo yung pinsan nyo. Mas kilala mo yung nanay mo that didn't go out. So why are you going to test her? But you don't know the waiters. You don't know the licensed sound supplier people and everything. And it's right that you should require them to be tested. But it's also because it's understandable because they do several events Hindi ba? So they're all over the place. Even if they didn't do events, hindi mo alam their situation. So the supplier should understand why this worry about having them tested. Now, may mga suppliers, and I really commend them for this, who are proactive. They will already give you the testing results. They will take it upon themselves already. Well and good. There are some naman na because they did an event Friday and your event is Saturday, yung testing nila nung Friday is already good for your Saturday event. So they just have to submit the documentation. Diba? Mm-hmm. Now, Third, and this really an answer to the couples. Sino ba talaga among the suppliers ang kailangan matest? Because yung nagpasok ng bulaklak, iniwanan yung centerpiece sa lamesa, and then left, di mo kailangan i-test yan eh. There was no contact. That happened early on. Okay? But, yung photographer mo, who is a close-in sa'yo, patest mo yan. Diba? So, if you have, let's say, 15 people, or sabihin na natin, 10 people, lights and sounds, only those manning the tech booth, which is probably 3 people, should be tested. So, it's not gonna bust your budget if you think practically, you know, if you think on a practical basis and you work with the supplier. Because some people say, ha, papatest ko 20 people? Eh muna, mahal-mahal yan. Magkano na ngayon? So, you work with them. Be practical. Miski na yung nagpasok ng speaker, pinasok niya yan. Umalis na yun eh. Naghihintay yun sa van nila. The next time you're gonna see that guy to enter your venue is pag dinismantle yung speaker.
Egress na. Yes.
Egress na. At wala na kayo doon.
Yes.
Diba? And don't be too sure that the people close to you, family members and friends, are really that COVID-free. Diba? Wala namang mawawala sa'yo eh.
Yeah.
Just find out lang, nagpa-test ba kayo? Because it's unfair naman na some family members papatest, no, and some don't. Yan ang discrimination. Bakit yung teenage son ng auntie mo, kung ayaw nag-party yan kasama ng barkada, we don't know. Diba?
Yeah, that's true.
Yun ang sinasabi ko. What should be good for everybody should be good for everybody, not just some people.
Yeah. Thank you for that input, Rita. I just want to share, and this is a true story that happened. Kasi hindi masyado napapag-usapan in the wedding industry. Parang wala masyadong news na this person got sick or ganyan. This is a true story. We've been doing online bridal fairs, and there is this supplier who's been very excited to join sana the ongoing bridal fair now. So this supplier has been calling up yung our account coordinator for that. And then all of a sudden, biglang naging silent itong supplier na to. And our staff have been trying to call them, text, PM, email, no response, which we found very unusual because ang bilis mag-reply nitong supplier na to. After 2 weeks, the supplier got in touch with us to tell us that, apologies for not responding, but naging COVID positive yung supplier. And what happened was all the suppliers that they worked with in a wedding, they all got COVID in that wedding. And all these suppliers were tested negative. Testing was done. For all the suppliers in the wedding. So lahat sila nag-COVID. Thank God, mild to moderate symptoms lang. Walang naging severe, walang naging critical. But they all had to be quarantined kasi yung area where it happened, medyo strict ang LGU. So once COVID positive, they have to take you and they put you in a quarantine facility. So that is a true story in the wedding industry. Kaya talagang yan yung I guess I was attending a Zoom meeting, Rita, yesterday, 2 days ago. We are not saying wala talagang 100% safe event. You know, what we can do is to mitigate. Di ba? Mitigate lang. So we cannot stop COVID from happening, but we just do all the precautions. And as you said, no, alam mo dapat lahat ng facts so that you will lessen the probability of getting COVID, of getting infected. But there's no 100% way or system na talaga sasabihin mo na, okay, 100%, walang magkakasakit if I do these things. Kasi, I mean, you are fighting a virus. I think we have to accept that now. And this, the Sutueds who are watching, the suppliers who are watching, who are thinking na, wala yan, basta magte-test lang kami. And on the day itself, pwede nang magtanggal ng mask or ano kasi lahat naman kami negative. Walang ganon. Walang ganon. I really want to point that out. It's there, it's a virus. Yeah, and even getting the vaccine will not prevent you from getting COVID. The assurance of the vaccine is to prevent deaths, severe
Yes.
cases to
Severe
deaths. Diba?
COVID.
So,
Yes.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
walang
Uh,
surefire way na it's not
you
gonna
know,
happen. Yeah.
I just want to also share something because, we all have a tendency to think, maybe in a way, hindi mangyayari yan sa akin. I'm keeping
Yes.
safe, social distancing, everything. And I'm guilty of that. I'm really guilty of that. And what really made me realize something was when I found out that a friend of mine, I know her, just simply went to SNR to buy something and she got COVID. SNR na to, hindi ito palengke. Hindi man ito supermarket. And it wasn't even full. And that made me so scared in the sense na, I had to recently go to DFA and go to Mega Mall. And I was so scared. Talagang, yung maaano ka natin muna, nakakatakot na to. But I really had to have my passport renewed. And di ba sabi nila, only go out if it's essential. For me, that's essential. Okay. Because as I said, we should be ready to restart at any time. I cannot restart without the passport. Okay. So, but it's the fear. The fear na, every person that I saw in Mega Mall, I felt, baka may COVID. And it's crazy. It's really crazy. I'm a people person, but I just don't want to be near people anymore. And you have to fight that. You have to literally fight that. I mean, kulang na lang, you go in a PPE the whole time because this surge is no joke. I've been vaccinated, the first dose, and it's still not a guarantee like what you said. In fact, when you get your first dose, that's when you are even at your most, how do you say it, unsafe.
Vulnerable?
Vulnerable, correct. Thank you for that word. Yes. It's when you're most vulnerable. Because you have the virus in you, and all your antibodies are trying to fight it. That's why it needs 28 days for it to fix itself in your body. Then you get the second dose. And that second dose now helps, reinforce the first dose. And it's as simple as that. And even having it is like what Sharon said. It doesn't mean you're not going to get it. It just means you're not hopefully going to die. Because
Yes.
even if you get it, it could be another type of variant na hindi pala effective dun sa virus, sa vaccine na yan. Then we're in a lot of trouble. Diba?
So do you think it changes when it comes to events or weddings? Like now that we're being vaccinated or we're seeing people get vaccines, do you think it's going to change how we're going to do weddings? Like, do you have clients who are saying only people who are vaccinated can come to can join our wedding, or wala naman ganon?
So far, wala pang ganon. Ang nangyayari is, because let's face it, what's really so funny is that my problem during this time is that a lot of the ninongs and ninangs are seniors.
Yes.
Diba? So they cannot go
Yeah.
out. So automatic,
Yes.
wala kang ninong or ninang. And I always have to explain, it's okay. You just need 2 witnesses that can
Yeah.
be your best man, maid of honor. Okay?
Pati
For
nga supplier,
anybody.
pwede mo mag-sign, di ba?
Yes.
I mean, the actual document, right?
Yes. By law, you just need 2 witnesses. So going back
Yeah.
to your question, have there been occasions? As of now, no.
None.
Because I think people are really aware na, yes, the vaccine helps. It gives you a sense of, para bang at least meron kang parang armor. But even
Yes.
now, let's face it, there are chinks in the armor. And we're only
Yeah.
discovering now. Look at the J&J, na recall. Sinovac, sinasabi na, Sinovac. They're saying that it's only 35 to 55% efficacy. So ano ba talaga? Ano ba talaga ang, ayan, fake news na naman tayo. So we just have to really be aware of what's out there.
Yeah. Talaga importante yung being armed with the right information, the correct information at this point. Especially for the wedding suppliers, importante tamang information, and also the soon-to-weds. I just one point lang before siguro we wrap up. Rita, I think I honestly believe, syempre, sinasabi lang asawa ko, ayan ka na naman sa mga opinion mo. But this surge that's happening right now, dun nga sa Zoom meeting ko, I think a lot of the cases came from a lot of the social events that started happening when the guidelines were
Yeah.
relaxed a bit,
Yeah.
diba? So, yan. So, sabi ko sa husband ko, see? Sabi ko sa kanya, see? Yan yung point ko. Before this surge in Metro Manila, because GCQ tayo, maliit lang yung number of guests. But the surrounding provinces, MGCQ na sila. So pwede ka na up to 100 guests, 75, 100. And what the people in Manila did was just to go out, let's just go to ganito, let's just go to Rizal, kasi maluwag sa Rizal. Or let's go to Laguna, let's go to Cavite, di ba?
Cavite.
And Bulacan. Kasi mas hindi sila strict doon. And look where it got us, di ba? Di pare-pareho tayo ngayon nakabubble. We're ECQ and MECQ and the highest number of cases nandito sa NCR plus, di ba? The surrounding. So ano yung, do you have clients na ganon mag-isip, Rita, na Tita Rita, we cannot have 75 in Manila. Let's go to ano na lang, ganon. And if that happens, would you advise na sige go or ita-temper mo a bit?
I would temper it a bit, but in a way, I would tell them to go. Why? Simply because by the way I will temper it is make sure it's an outside wedding, outdoor. Kasi kung indoor lang kayo, ano difference niyan? Pareho rin. You're still spreading.
Okay.
So make it outdoor. Okay. Secondly, wag mo isagad yung number of people allowed. Okay? Because try to think of it again. Na example, if let's say Batangas or Rizal will say, allowed 75%. I'm sorry, 75 people or say 50% of the venue capacity. Wag mo isagad. Why? Because the more how do you say it? The more people, the more chances that one or two may be a COVID carrier. So I always tell them, when you do your guest list, number one, it's a must invite. You have to invite this person. Okay? Yung pinsan mo 3 times removed, you don't need to invite them. Number two, please don't insist on children. 3, forget the seniors. Leave them where they're comfortable, which is at home being safe. Kasi, and I say this with all love and niceness, couples, wag lang please matigas ang ulo. Wag pilitin ang gusto. Okay? Kung gusto man nyo to, at the least, modify it to at least ensure na you're still following all the regulations as much as possible. Because now, it's already affecting other people. Wag pilitin na I have to have 75 people. Okay? You can do it with 30. Actually, ang kailangan magpakasal, kayong dalawa at pare. That's all. If you really love each other, yung dalawa at pare. And then keep that money, okay, save it, and then let's have a big grand wedding that you've always dreamed of. Because that's the best way we can do this. Because like what you said, Sharon, you don't want it to become the source of a super spreader. That's what we have to guard against. Whether Metro Manila or you have to go somewhere else, again, mag-isip-isip muna tayo because syempre pinabiyahe mo rin yung mga tao eh. Di ba? Yung biyahe alone is already not safe. That alone is already not safe. So you might have to think twice about it.
Yeah. Alam mo Rita, this morning has been so enlightening and natutuwa ako kasi it's just siguro ano lang siya proof na hindi ako OA. I mean, I always say sometimes, sige na, di bali na maging OA sa safety. Di bali na, basta buhay tayo in the end. But hearing you say this, and I've looked up to you for so many years, it's just a reinforcement that, okay, I think I'm on the right path. And, because, our business is doing exhibits, conventions, yan. And we get several requests na hindi pa ba kayo mag-on ground? Bakit hindi pa tayo mag-exhibit? And I mean, it boggles the mind na parang nasa ang planeta ba tayo mga kapatid? Nasa pandemic tayo ngayon. Why would you want us to have a big exhibit? So I just tell them politely, fellow wedding suppliers na nasa ano tayo, bawal pa ang mass gathering. Diba? But it doesn't stop them. I would get like 2 emails or 2 to 5 text messages a day. When are you going back to this and this venue? We miss the bridal fairs. Diba? As you said nga, Rita, diba? Ang event mo dapat should do the least damage. Diba? I mean, least harm to the most number of people. So that's why we're staying put. We're doing everything online for now.
Yeah.
So it's reassuring to hear these things from you. Oo. Kasi you've been, except for the pandemic, you've been there, done that. Itong mga intimate, mga destination, going through several guidelines. Ito lang ang bagong curveball sa'yo the pandemic. So, ikaw yung right person really to consult when it comes to these things. Diba?
And my heart goes out to fellow suppliers. And I believe also to those suppliers who have staff, people, personnel who are on an independent basis. Because honestly, they're not on a payroll, they're not on a salaried basis. So that's what we call isang kayod, isang tuka, diba? So if they have no gigs, if there are no events, what are they going to do? I mean, that one, my heart goes out to them. In the sense na, sino ba hindi gusto magkaroon ng event? Hello? Di ba? O sino ba hindi gusto magkaroon ng exhibit? I even miss going to mass, honestly. I wish I could go to mass. But again, ingat muna tayo. Konti pantiis, konti pa. Kaya pa natin to Diba? Sinabi nga ni Lord, diba? Hindi magbibigay ng problema at malas at hirap kung hindi natin kaya. So, dasal tayo. Hindi naman natutulog ang Diyos. It's the only thing I can think of. And always remember, love will prevail. It has to. It cannot not prevail. So thank you, Rona and Sharon. What a wonderful way to spend a morning.
Yes. Ayan. Thank you so much, Rita, for the words of wisdom.
Hannah.
Ang ganda ng comment ni Hannah. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for this. Hi, Hannah. Thanks for watching. Hannah's my friend. Our wedding was supposed to be set for today. Well, my family members got hit by COVID, and we'll keep these in mind moving forward.
So before we let you go, Miss Rita, I know that you're staying put, sheltering in place, but if people would want to get in touch with you for consultation, for future wedding planning, how can they get in touch with you?
Definitely, they can get in touch with us. Look for our page, IG. Look at our website. You can reach us at Rita Neri Event Planners. Just type it in, and we're there. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Rita.
You're very, very welcome. It's always been a pleasure. As I said earlier, I can never say no to you and Dodge. And take care of your darling husband, your child, your daughter. Rona, same goes to you. Keep safe so that we may have more sessions like this. It's really been good. I also ask everyone to follow us on IG, Rita Neri Event Planners, because we do put out a lot of news out there, like what's the latest with us from our intimate package and everything like that. So we're going strong. Everybody keep safe and hope to see you soon. Happy weekend, everyone.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Miss Sharon, would you like to share anything?
Oh, yes. Before we go, today, syempre, para maging masaya pa rin ang buhay kahit na medyo nalulungkot tayo sa nangyayari sa ating health situation, ongoing pa rin po ang Wedding Expo Philippines Blended Bridal Fair. Unfortunately, tinamaan tayo ng second surge So the small on-ground event, on hold po yan. We're waiting for the new dates as soon as everything becomes better. But this afternoon, we have lined up an exhibitors live session where you will meet and greet some of our exhibitors. Nakakatuwa po because ito nga ang hardest hit industry, but some of them are raffling off very cool prizes for your wedding, like a free make hair and makeup session, may magbibigay po ng lights and sounds package, a prenup photo shoot session, and a whole lot more. May mga overnight accommodation po, no, sa mga exhibitors natin na nasa MGCQ na sila. Of course, terms and conditions will apply. So please do stay tuned. Mamaya ulit, beginning 2 o'clock, Exhibitors Live, and join me until 5 p.m. together with my co-host, Mama Loy Villarama, for another weekend of fun, kwentuhan, at raffle para sa mga suntuin. So please don't miss out our fun weekend ito po, April 24 and 25. Yan yung sabi nga ni Rita, tingnan natin what's going for us, diba, the good things. So this is one good weekend if you're soon to wed, one good weekend that you should not miss.
Yes, I agree.
And share.
Of course, it's going to happen today from 2 to 5 p.m. and tomorrow, and it's happening here on Facebook at the Themes and Motives account. We're also sharing this, of course, at inspirations.ph. And again, like you said, it's one of the good things going for us. Having an online bridal fair, I think, is definitely one of the good things that's going for us because we're able to plan our weddings and big events safely po, no? Na hindi po tayo nag-aalala with the things that are going around us. So, we hope to see you at the Exhibitors Live this afternoon. Meron po kaming couple, no? We have a story up on inspirations.ph, no? A couple who won last year for a grand raffle. Wala po silang budget for their wedding, their reception. They had to reallocate it when COVID happened. But thanks to our raffle and our generous sponsors, they were able to win the reception. Hindi ko nga masasabi of their dreams, pero parang beyond their dreams pa po yung napanalunan nila through the raffle. So, please do join us. It's just by registering, of course, at themesandmotives.com. Wala pong kailangan down payment or wala pong kailangan booking. Just register. And visit us also at inspirations.ph for more ideas on how you can do your wedding, how you can do it safely, how you can do it beautifully. We hope you do have a happy weekend, and we'll see you back again at the Exhibitors Live. Bye, everybody.
Stay safe.